I'm not exactly changing lives with what I'm doing here. And I don't think that the news overall has a very positive effect on people. So I almost felt like I was part of the problem. And um, so I just, it's like you just have this inner voice that sometimes like gets louder and louder and louder, and you can't really ignore it until you're like, okay, I need to do something about this.
I love that. I was literally just talking about that in a different episode about giving yourself permission to listen to that voice,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
I think sometimes, well, let me share this thought with you, and then I want you to get your thoughts on it. I think sometimes we feel guilty if we have that voice, right? I think
Oh my
sometimes,
gosh, of course.
right, it means like, oh my God, I'm unhappy. I'm not grateful. I'm not satisfied. Why can't I just appreciate what's around me? So we quiet our dreams.
Yeah, absolutely. I had all of those thoughts because when I exited college and took some time to meditate on what I wanted to do and started dabbling in the journalism field, I was like, yes, 100, let's go. I like moved myself to New York City and hustled my way from one publication to the next, and before you know it, I was like International Business Times check, BBC check, Yahoo, USA Today. I was just really like racking up the publications. And that's what I thought that I wanted, was to be a widely published writer. And it was almost like I checked that box, but I worked my butt off to make that happen. And then I also was doing some travel journalism stuff. So I was like getting paid to travel the world and write about it. And I was like, man, you've got to be crazy if you would give this up, because you're eating off a silver spoon here, like going on these amazing adventures, like writing about it, working for these publications, living in New York. If you would ever give this up, because this is like the dream for some people, you've got to be absolutely nuts. But for me, it was just like I just started getting more and more depressed because I just felt like, man, this does not have a lot of meaning. And I think intrinsically it always has to do with, who you are as a person, how you form and come to be, what's impacted your life that kind of shifts your perspective. And for me personally, I was just like, okay, maybe I'm starting to figure out that there's just got to be something else.
Mm. And you gave yourself grace to explore that.
It was hard, yeah, but I did.
Yeah, I think it's very hard, right? For any of us that have like these kind of like what you said, like barometers of success. If I achieve this, I'm successful. If I achieve that, I'm successful. I think it's really hard to challenge yourself and say, wait a second, this isn't my success. It's not the success I want.
Yeah, I didn't know that though. I was thinking,
No.
I don't know, I think I thought in my mind earlier, like, okay, if I become like a great journalist and I write for all these publications, I'm going to be successful. And once I'm successful, I'm going to feel great. That's what I thought. And then it was like I did it, and then I didn't feel great.
No, that's outcome based, right? Like we're putting our happiness based on certain outcomes
Hmm.
versus the journey to get there,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
the true happiness many times is in these small conversations. Like if I just tell my audience like I'm going to be happy when the On Purpose podcast reaches this number of listeners,